Hello YouTubers, today we're replacing the screen on my laptop, a Dell G5 5587. The reason I want to replace the screen is kind of twofold. One, the screen replacement will double my refresh rate from 60Hz to 120Hz, and number two, the color range on this screen is pretty woeful. I think it's in the 60 or 70% of the RGB gamut, or gamut. And the new monitor, the new panel brings it up closer to 100, I think 98%. So much better for video editing, for photo editing, getting a much more accurate color picture. And also there's been quite a bit of ghosting going on with this panel. I think it may be on its way out anyway. So what we're going to do today is replace this panel. It's pretty easy. I'll kind of walk through the process if you do want to replace it for yourself. So let's get to it. So as always with these things, you have to make sure that you're turning off your computer. So shut down, and we'll open up this bad boy here to start with. Do we have a knife? Lovely bubble wrap. Down there. And the monitor itself. Oh, it's actually heavier than I thought it would be. But maybe you can recycle this lovely bubble wrap. And here it is. So for this one itself, there's a 30-pin connector. So for you, you might have to look what is suitable for your laptop. Most laptops can have their screens replaced, but it's down to sort of this connector as well as the size of your screen as well. So I have my handy dandy little screwdriver kit, and it's really simple to replace these screens actually, and it's really just a case of, so the laptop's off, and it's a case of basically just popping off some clips. And since this hasn't been done before, it's going to be reasonably stiff, so I'll make sure I have all the little clips here. I don't want to go in with the metal clips as of yet, unless I really need them. But basically, the idea is to go in, there you go, pop some clips off, nice and easy. And there's clips on all sides. Obviously down here there's some connectors, and you've got the webcam up here, so you want to make sure that you're not catching any cables here or there, but on this side and this side there's not too many cables. So we've got one side off. Now to take the other side off, and so these little handy, these are sort of screen replacement for your phone, little widget sort of things, working quite nicely. And like I'm replacing this screen anyway, so I might give it a little scratch, but they're plastic, so it's not going to be too drastic. But like I said, I will be replacing this screen anyway, so it's not going to be too bad. So sides are off. Let's get the top now. So I've seen some go in from the top as well. So basically I learned to do this, or I saw some tutorials on the internet to do this, to help do this. Made it look pretty simple. Of course, that's, if someone's done it before and they're making a tutorial, it can be pretty simple. So I thought I would take you along with me on this journey. Don't want to obviously break anything. But if you were also doing this for the first time, you would be experiencing this kind of thing too. Obviously you want to be careful with it. There we go, that's clips there. There we go. Yeah, so that's a couple there, and then the rest should come a bit easier. There we go. And I'll go that way. Like I said, cables up these ends. So just want to be pretty careful with those. There's one. which should make it easier for the rest. There we go. And there we go. So all I'm doing here is running down the length of the screen and making a gap there as the clips pop. So there's a little bit there where the webcam is, and then I'll do the same at the bottom. But again, making sure I'm not cutting any cables, hence why I'm using the plastic clips, like I said. But it is reasonably tough. You don't have to go too far. The clips are on the very top of the screen itself, on the clips. So that's the top undone, I believe, almost. There we go, so the top is done now, as you can see, flopping around. Now to work on the bottom here. Again, trying to be firm but forgiving. Not trying to break anything, but these clips do have to come off. And the clips are down the bottom, so sort of getting in there in the bottom would probably be better. That helps. Couple there. Let's see here. Still a little bit here. Give a little rotate so I can see. Still down there, down here. This part, I'm not quite sure. So this whole thing does come off. So it's kind of, again, not trying to break anything, but trying to be firm with it so it does actually come off. There we go, there we go. Coming off now. One more. Again, trying to be somewhat careful. And there we go. So that's the bezel off of the screen itself, which should, in theory, clip back in. And so you have a little bit of tape here holding the screen itself in, but there's 4 screws. There's actually one missing there. There should be 4 screws. There should be one there, one there, one there, and one there. And it looks like, I don't think I popped it out, but one of mine is actually missing for some reason. But that's okay. Seems to be working fine as it is. So we'll ignore that and just complain to Dell. Maybe later, but we'll get the screwdriver out and unscrew these. There we go. One screw, put that in here. That one's obviously missing. And before I take out this last screw here, this tape holding some of the cables in, or holding the panel itself in. So pull the tape off. Come on, come with me. I'll put that to the side. And last one. This one here. And here. And then the monitor itself, panel itself, should come pretty easily down here. And now, so a lot of people that I've seen do these, you can't really see this. So there is the latch itself. As you can see, there's some tape over the top holding the latch, the ribbon connector in. So if you can just get in there with a nail or a screwdriver or something, and carefully, you don't want to damage the connector. And that's that off there. Pretty adhesive-y. Okay. You just want to make sure that so it's a bar connector, so you want to pull it up. There's a little bar, I'm not sure if you can see. There's a little bar there. If it'll focus, right at the bottom, right in there. So that holds the connector in. You flip that bar up, so I'll just do that now. Flip the bar up if you can get a nail in there, or there you go. Hopefully you can see that. See this little bar that holds the connector in, and then you push that up, and that means the connector is now loose, so you can sort of push that out. There we go. Obviously, we want to keep this bit, this connector, but this panel now is not useful at all. So now unpacking the other panel, and it's just a case of reversing the process. So we have a little bit of we do have a screen protector on here, so we can place it down onto the keyboard, just exactly the same as before. So the connector and the other connector should line up again, and it's a reverse of the process. So you want to bring that bar back up, reasonably simple, push that into the connector, should only fit one way, nice and easy, no need to rush anything here. No need to rush anything, nice and easy in there, and bring that bar connector down, and that should just give it that little bit of a tug forward so that your actual connection is nice and snug, like so. Now I'll zoom in, there we go, if that makes sense there, absolutely fantastic. So now we put the camera back down, and basically put that tape back down there, screw the monitor back in like it was. So I'll bend the monitor back, or the hinge back slightly, so it's sitting nice and relaxed. And then you get the screws back out of where you had them. And like I said, I've been missing a screw, so I'm just going to put them back where I found them. Number 2. And lastly, number 3 for me. And I don't have a spare one to put back in. And before I put the bezel back on, what I'm going to do is turn the laptop on just to make sure it actually works. So fingers crossed. There we go. Absolutely fantastic. So it's got the screen protector on, so I'm going to take that off, and nothing really oh yes, nothing really, it doesn't really need, it can still be on while I put this back on. So being careful when you do put this back on, that this here little connection doesn't catch any of the wires, and it's just a case of finding the position again. Oh wow, you won't be able to tell with the camera, but the difference in that picture that we saw at the very start of the video is drastically different. So hopefully that means it's a bit more accurate. So what I'll do is a couple of tests just to see. So I'll be looking at pictures basically that I've been editing, because basically what's been happening, I edit some pictures, I edit some footage on the laptop, I go over and watch it on my phone, or someone watches it on their phone, and I'm thinking, that's not how it looked. I want to be able to know what it looks like on the majority of people's phones or devices when I'm actually editing it, rather than trying to guess what it should look like because the color accuracy isn't right. But there we go, that is the monitor finished, fixed, replaced. Absolutely fantastic. This actually cost, the monitor itself, or the panel, cost me, I think it was £50, 50 Great British pounds, maybe a bit less. I'll put a link in the description to the specific panel I used off of eBay. Did a bit of research to see what panel. Generally, like I said at the start, it's about the 30-pin connector and about the size of the screen that might work for you, but obviously do some research, figure out what works for you, and then try it yourself, rather than, I would say, much better to try it yourself rather than going and spending. You could spend hundreds of pounds to send this laptop away and get it fixed if it's out of warranty, whereas you can't. This is a really simple fix if you're nice and patient, nice and careful. But that will be it for today's episode. Hopefully you enjoyed replacing the screen with me today. And if you could subscribe, that would be absolutely fantastic. Hopefully be doing more videos like this, more tech related videos. So make sure you do hit that subscribe button. And if you liked this video, if you could hit that like button, that'd be great. If you dislike this video, hit the dislike button and let me know why in the comments below. And I will see you in the next episode.